Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Game of Two Halves. This is Vijay, and with me here is my very good buddy Valley. Hey, Valley, how's it going, man?
Hey, good as always. And guys, if you're watching this podcast, you know why we are recording it. It means that Chelsea have won a game.
Hey, Valley, by the way, check my new jersey out.
Ah, look at this. Chelsea win one game. People are flaunting their new jerseys out. They are
Uh,
excited to record a podcast. And I mean, there's lots more to discuss. So, guys, tune in to this episode. Do make sure that you subscribe and write us in the comments. We did receive some comments the last video, and we thank you for the prediction, a little bold prediction on the North London derby. We didn't live up to that, but thank you for your comments. We really appreciate it. Back to you, Vijay.
yeah, we've got a lot to talk today, man. I think we are going to be covering the last two game weeks. The big North London derby. I mean, yeah, I think let's dive right into it, right? And then we can cover the rest of the other games. The big shocking result. The defending champions losing their first game. So we'll come to that. Let's dive right into North London derby. I mean, what an amazing game, living up to the expectations. Yes, the result didn't go your way, but Valley, how was the game, man?
Yeah, I mean, North London Derby is one of those, like we said, one of those most important derbies in the Premier League. The rivalry is there, the atmosphere is always there, and more importantly, I think the game also is there. I think another, I can't say derby, but a rivalry match is always between Liverpool and Chelsea. And over the last few years, we've discussed this even on our podcast that sometimes the match can get boring because it's so well contested. I think y'all were the team that had multiple matches as nil-nil or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But I think with the Tottenham Arsenal match, you will always find goals. It's very rare that you'll find a clean sheet performance, and that's what this game lived up to. I think Tottenham look amazing. If they were not our biggest rivals, I would be one of their fans right now because of the way they've been playing. And Ange, I think he's winning over the hearts of everyone. And I think a lot of Arsenal supporters are going to be salty about how good this guy is, his personality, what he's done to the team, what he's done for Tottenham. Like in few months, he's become like a cult hero in England already. Now they are one of the only two sides unbeaten in the Premier League, and we'll come to that very exciting match.
I just like how you have just uh, spoken all about Tottenham and nothing about Arsenal, although it was a home game for you. But I mean, I completely agree to whatever you have said, man. That's the effect that Ange has had um, since he's arrived, right? I mean, he's created that amazing culture, and like you rightly said. They now have that those players playing in the right position. He is allowing them the freedom to play the way they want, and it's such beautiful football to watch. I thought that the first 25-30 minutes Arsenal completely dominated them. They lost the ball so much, but then they were calm. They gave I mean, they came back two times, right, after going the goal down. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, to
yeah,
do.
both the times in very quick succession. I mean, the second goal, I think they said it was 85 seconds from.
Yeah.
So, of course, the gift that keeps giving Chelsea, Jorginho, having a little bit. I don't blame him. I think he's not played competitive football for so long. So it's a difficult position to be in. He shouldn't have been in that position, but with Rice being injured in that match, Partey already being injured, I think we just didn't have enough depth or people who have had experience of playing in this season. But it is what it is. Like you said, with Arsenal, I think no complaints. It's just that it's unfortunate that at this point of time we have around 6 to 7 players who are injured, but yet we seem to get the results, and that's something that I'm proud of and will take ahead.
But yeah, a great game of football, man. Valley. I think
Uh,
think a draw was well deserved for both the
Yeah,
teams,
I
I
think
agree with
it was a
that.
fair result for both teams.
Yeah.
Nobody can complain about that. And then, quickly touching, because we're touching 2 weeks, the follow-up match was away at Bournemouth, and we won there emphatically with 4 goals away, scoring 4 and coming with a clean sheet. A lot of debate on Ramsdale versus Raya, but I think Raya seems to be having that number one spot and it will take it ahead. So good performance, I think, but everyone will be talking about that moment of Kai Havertz and the chants that he got. And I think it was really emotional in a way, even as a fan, to see that transpiring on the pitch. Odegaard having a chat with Jesus, who was also in contention to taking that penalty. Of course, speaking with Saka, who is the main penalty taker, and deciding to give that opportunity to Kai, who scores his first goal for Arsenal in a competitive match, having played 8 of them now in total. So it's good to see that he's managed to get on the scoring sheet, even though it's a penalty. But what was important was to see the way the crowd, supported him, the way the team supported him, and that's what you really want to see as we try and target all these competitions. But yeah, good 2 weeks, I would say, for Arsenal. Nothing really to complain.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think that was a very nice gesture. Like, the team supporting him, and Saka could have easily had a hat trick. I think he's your main penalty taker, but Odegaard scoring one, giving Havertz a one. So good, he's off the mark as well. Arsenal, right up there, I must say. And to make things good for you, it is City who lost their first game of this season. Did
Yeah.
you watch that match? Did you watch
No,
that
I,
match?
I didn't watch that match, unfortunately. I kept following the scoreline. First of all, when you see this thing, I don't know if it's anybody else, let me know in the comments. When you see something like this, you think, oh, something is wrong with your phone. Let me refresh it. Or maybe there's a
No,
goal.
no, that's only you.
Maybe there's a goal disallowed, or this doesn't look right. Wolves are leading versus Man City. I think something is glitching in the app. So I have 2 apps. One is the Premier League app and one is another footballing app. And I check both and they're like, no, it's a goal. So I got more curious about it. And then I'm like, it's first half. We've seen this, I don't know how many times. If you follow football, you've seen Manchester City trailing for even maybe up to the 70th minute. And if you then suddenly just go to the washroom, or you go and you make yourself a sandwich, you come back, it's 5-1. We've seen Man City doing this
Yeah,
to teams.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
when I saw it was 1-1, I'm like, nothing new. Man City is going to kill this. And then I said 2-1. I'm like, again, I'm checking. Maybe it's something wrong. But I couldn't be happy, because I'll give you some context why. When we drew to Tottenham, Man City went ahead 4 points of Arsenal with a higher goal difference, because obviously they smash
Yeah.
goals, and we've been struggling to score goals this season. And there was already talk that, oh, we are bottling the league in game week 6. That we are not. There's already a 4 points gap between us and Manchester City. It's going to be very difficult to now close the gap. So there was already this narrative that they're going to be run away with the league. But just goes to show you again the quality of Premier League, that no team is safe over here. Yes, eventually their supremacy will show, but it shows this is such a competitive. I don't know if you probably, in one of our predictions, we would have said 4-1 or 5-1 to City.
Yeah.
What was your reaction? Did you watch the game?
I was the game. I was the game. I thought Wolves played really well. I mean, I saw the formation they set up as a 5-4-1, right? That's how they set up, and
Hmm.
you they were just going to keep soaking in the pressure, soaking in, and just counter, and that's how they scored both their goals. And Neto, man, what a fantastic player for them. And the Korean guy, so Pep said in the press conference, they are very good players, and he couldn't get that Wang's name, so that Korean guy, and he scored the winner.
And
But then,
you must
yeah,
love the social media team, right? Immediately they put an Instagram post, the Korean guy.
No, and I mean, look at life also, right? I mean, it happened. Like he said that,
Yeah,
and then that Korean guy happened to score the winner, and then I mean, like it just comes back at you, right?
yeah,
I know you've seen it in a bad way, but it's just like it's life, right? It
yeah.
just happens.
It's
So
it's
amazing,
amazing, man. Football is so amazing,
dude.
and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'm happy. I love it. Every day that I see any opposition club from, especially from the top six, losing out, I'm gonna be happy. I'm not gonna complain about it.
yeah, and but again, it takes us back to that same point, right? About injuries and about players missing. Yeah, I mean Rodri is out because of suspension, but they have so many players missing, right? KDB, it just looked like they did not have enough creativity in the team.
Yeah,
Rodri is a big miss, and we're gonna come to the big game in another episode. And obviously they were missing KDB.
yeah,
And he doesn't need introduction, and then John Stones, Bernardo Silva. So although they've signed this a few new players, but they are missing these creative players who could. Mahrez on the right wing, he's not there anymore. So Grealish also just coming back from injury, hardly had any impact in the
yeah,
game. So you can just see that that injuries or not having players in those key positions make such a huge difference. We saw it with Arsenal last season. I mean, it's too early to say that Manchester City might whatever suffer because of that, but you can see it. Have not having key players is not getting them results. So I think it comes down to that, man. It comes down to, having those important players playing, and how you manage them, and injuries and all of that. And yeah, let's say interesting, man. Very interesting. Wolves, no, taking nothing away from Wolves, man. They played an amazing game, but it was a shock. Absolute
yeah.
shock of it.
Yeah, I think nobody expect. I don't think so. If you ask the Wolves team or the Korean guy, I don't think so any of them expected to walk away with this result. But yeah,
Yeah,
great, great. I think just adds to the credibility of the Premier League. When you can see, every team fighting for it, and yeah, there's no excuse. Like I said, with whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Chelsea, whether it's Manchester City, injuries, red cards, refereeing decisions. All of this has been part of the game for
yeah,
centuries that this game has been played. So it's just something that we have to work with, and that's what a good team is about. Like if you go back to Champions League winning Chelsea, Premier League winning Chelsea, you would have had spells where some of your players were out. They were injured, but it's about
yeah.
how do you step up and how
Correct.
do you cope with that injury and still get the results out. So
I mean, we won the Champions League with an interim manager. Like, imagine that.
exactly. So that's a good point, I think. But I think also giving sort of credit to what you are saying, that Manchester City looked depleted without these
Yeah.
players. I think the loss of Cancelo, the loss of KDB, Rodri out, and Gundogan out. So these are some key components that they are missing from their team. Of course, they've replaced and added more quality in Ake, and with Kovacic coming in,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but the guy who's playing at the wing in place of
Doku.
Grealish, Doku.
Doku.
So great players, but it's going to take them some time to gel with the team. But Pep finds a way, man. He's one of the greatest managers in football.
Awesome. So yeah, that was about Man City. Let's move into the other big game for Spurs. So Spurs had back-to-back so-called the big games
Yeah.
against Arsenal away and Liverpool home. And any other season you would expect Spurs to lose both, but they drew one and they won against Liverpool, man. Very controversial game. We spoke about it a little bit off air, and we will be coming up with a whole episode on that, right? What's your take on that game?
Yeah, I think we have a video coming up on refereeing in the Premier League and the VAR, and what our reaction is, not just to
Yeah,
this incident but all the other incidents that happen.
Yeah.
So do watch out for that, and that's why subscribe to us and put the notification on so that you know when we post these videos. More importantly, because we are very inconsistent, so that's why the notification helps to know when we are out there with a new video.
Yeah.
But I think just on the footballing side, I have to say, maybe a popular, unpopular opinion, but Liverpool really impressed me in that game, despite individual errors by footballers in the Liverpool team. As a team, I think it's going to be, if you cannot beat a nine-man team right up to the 95th, 96th minute, that
Last kick, literally
yeah,
last kick of
the
the
last
season.
kick
Yeah.
of the match, that goes to show you
Yeah.
what is the quality and the resilience of those
Yeah.
members, and they're fighting for their team. And that is, I mean, again, I don't know this episode what has happened to me. I'm talking about Ange and Tottenham, I'm talking about Liverpool, but I really respect what
It's
Liverpool.
great to see this side of you, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is the unbiased side of me.
Yeah.
But I think that was a great way to see it. But also have to sort of give credit to Tottenham that they didn't stop. They didn't know how, but they found a way in the end, and that's what is the most important part of it. I think uh, Son and Madison again showed why football is so loved. Is being injured, they made sure that they played in these two matches, the North London Derby and the Liverpool match, because they knew they would contribute to the team, and they did exactly that in both those matches, and then walked off the field. So that was also good to see. But I think Liverpool were supremely better. 11 on 11. This is no contest. Liverpool would have won this game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think yeah, any team in the league that can play with a man or two men less, I think I'd put all my money on Liverpool, man, to even produce a result out. We saw it against Newcastle. They almost did it against Tottenham. The last kick
Yeah.
there, tired legs, Matip on goal. Yeah, but again, Tottenham didn't give up either. We can go on about the stuff that happened in the match, right? And like you said, uh, it's been happening for years, and I think the day it gets perfect, it's going to take away that fun of football, right? Like you can't have 100% perfect football match,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying that there have to be controversies and bad decisions in every game, but there has to be some rawness, right,
Yeah.
in the game as well. Okay, so let's move on to the last last two teams that we
I
usually
think
talk
if I
about.
may make a suggestion, let's leave to the one team towards the end, because I think that's a moment of celebration. Let's focus maybe on
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about a bitter rivals,
bitter
Manchester.
rivals. Who are you talking about? You're talking about the lower end of the table, Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
They're not bitter rivals, man.
No. Shit.
Whose rival are they? Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. 11th place, 10th place. I can see the rivalry there.
14th versus 15th, I think.
No, no, no. You forgot you won a match. You've gone up the table.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's talk about. Actually, I was going to say losers, but maybe I said the wrong word. Okay. Cut this. Okay, let's talk about Manchester United. They still continue to struggle. They got beaten by Bayern 4-3. It was closer than we expected.
Yeah.
Uh, but they did lose that game. They lost to Crystal Palace at home 1-0. Valley, what's
After
going on?
beating them.
Yeah. After beating them in the
Yeah.
EFL Cup 3-0. Yeah, what do you think is going on?
Um, I think it's a bad moment from again, something's wrong with me today, but I think it's a bad moment for Manchester United as a club. Uh, Everything that needs to go wrong is going wrong. They've
Hmm.
had the player manager spat. They've had allegations of abuse with one of their players. They've had ex players commenting unnecessary on the state of the club. They
Hmm.
have an issue with the owner trying to overvalue an undervalued product and selling it
Yeah.
in the market. They have
Yeah.
buyers who do not stick to their word and keep increasing the bid. Even after saying final bid, they keep making four final bids, and it's in a limbo. They have a stadium that, if you see some of these videos, and Manchester United fans may not share it, but there are videos that show how bad the stadium is, including one of the recent matches where from the roof of it the rain is drenching the spectators down in spite of having a roof, because it's all broken and it's about to be like fall down. It's a safety hazard right now. If you look
Mm.
at the gantries the where the commentators walk to go to their final booths, they are metal, those, how you find in scaffoldings of buildings. It's those
Yeah.
rusted. There are a lot of videos out there that you can just watch, and you can see that this club is not managed well at every level of it, and it's a pity what's happening to that club. But I have no sympathies for them. I don't care for them, but I do understand why it is happening. And if they change 10 managers also, I don't see it changing, because that environment is become bad. It's toxic. They
Cultural
don't have
problem. Yeah.
that winning mentality there. And
Yeah.
to make matters worse, is that Ten Hag actually had a great start to his career at United. Won the Carabao Cup, got them a top four finish into the Champions League, got the signing players that he wanted to sign and bring into the squad. But from there on, they've just not kicked off. There's no style of play. There is no formation. There is no tactics. There is no identity to that team, and that's what is transpiring. Added to it, Rashford's not in the best of forms, so your goals have dried up. Ericsson looks tired as ever, so he's not able to contribute. Mount was injured for a very long time, and he's not looking himself to contribute to the game. So Anthony's out, so they're dealing with that issue there. Martial comes on with the odd goal, but they're just missing almost anything and everything in that element. And then if you compare to Ange, who's also, I mean, who spent less time in the league, is already transforming also a similar team, right? Who were they were Tottenham never appeared as a combined 11. They never showed that team spirit, and he's managed to change that around.
Yeah, yeah. I think you covered everything. I think it's more like a cultural problem at Manchester United, whereas on the other hand, Tottenham are just the culture is so good, right? That uh everything Ange seems to be doing is working for him. So yeah, I think I will not spend more time on Manchester United. I
Yeah,
think you covered everything
I think
there.
we got better topics to cover.
Finally, we won a game.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you
Chelsea,
guys, thank you.
Chelsea.
And we didn't only win, but our top signing, Mikhailo Mudryk, from whom we had huge expectations, and he got trolled uh, like crazy. Finally scored in the Premier League for Chelsea. So I watched the game. I watched the first half. It was a little late here. I watched the first half. We scored two goals in 2 minutes. Broya played because Jackson was suspended, and I mean, see, we always knew that we were going to score because we created that many chances. Even if you see the numbers, the most chances created in the Premier League,
Yeah,
I think Chelsea is right on top. But we were lacking the finishing, right? Jackson was just struggling. He's new in the Premier. We spoke about this in our previous video. But finally, it looks like we were able to break the shackles and score a couple of goals and win the local derby. So yeah, very happy, bro.
yeah. I mean, even if it's Fulham, I think a win is a win. Given that I think September you all scored one goal, right? And October you scored two. So, at least there's a bit of competition for goal of the month in Chelsea this time. Uh, But yeah, good for Mudryk. Finally, I think 21 appearances for Chelsea, and he scored a goal. I think. I mean, we troll, and it's easy for us to say, but it's not that easy when you play in the Premier League. No matter, I think we said this about many players. You don't decide your price, right? You don't decide that I'm going to be valued at 80 million or 100 million. It's something that clubs decide, but the expectation then falls onto you as a player. So good for him to start off his journey, and I think good for every Chelsea fan's sanity that finally you not just have a win, you have a clean sheet. You have a man of the match to actually celebrate for a change. You're closer.
Two new different goal scorers, yeah.
Yeah, you're closer to the top 10 rather than the bottom three. So all positives, I think, for Chelsea, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We enjoyed the result. We enjoyed the win. And
Another
I think
positive, just before you go into the match analysis, is that all these memes could be proved wrong, right? They're saying practicing for October when they sack Pochettino and all. Frank Lampard also recently gave an interview, so Chelsea fans were a little bit uncomfortable. Are we back in that season where Poch will be sacked? Frank Lampard comes to save the day, but hopefully
no, man, no, no.
will push the or delay the inevitable that happens.
Nah, we knew that Poch would get the entire season. I mean, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time. It was a nice win. We are happy, and now it's like we won two games, right? We won the EFL game also where
Mhm.
Jackson scored, and we won the Premier League game. So we always knew the goals were going to come. We were going to get the result. We just had to be a little patient. Again, it goes back to the injury thing we spoke about. So many key players missing. I read somewhere that Caicedo might be injured. I didn't see whether he came off early or did he play the full
Mhm.
90. I haven't seen that yet. But signs are good. Youngsters stepping up. Brilliant, man, brilliant. Just excited. It's a phase we are going through as well, and very happy with the result. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good to see Chelsea back to some sort of winning ways because after a certain point of time it's just sad, right?
Yeah.
You can make fun, but then if a team is losing every day, then there's nothing to banter about. Yeah, it's like bantering with like a Burnley fan or a Southampton fan or something like that. So it's good to see Chelsea at least battling it out. And yeah, you got a tough run of fixtures though, so there's a lot to see what the Chelsea team can do.
Yeah. No, no. We are ready, man. We are ready.
Good. Let's see, and we'll we'll make sure we see what happens here on this podcast.
Yes, we will talk about everything on the podcast. All right, Veli, I think that's all we have for this episode. Great games, a good roundup. You've seen our thoughts. Veli, you want to add any final comments?
Now it's been great football. I think it's just another weekend to go before the international break. So excited to see what happens this weekend, and then yeah, maybe a break for the international break.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
What? What? What?
Bye.
What? 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 What?